Hi, this is James with Fahrer Design and Fabrication. So today we're going to talk about air intakes specifically for the Yamaha Wave Blaster. We're going to discuss the kit that I offer. We're going to take a look at it, do an unboxing. We'll also do a full install just to make that process a little bit easier. And we'll also talk about some of the pros and cons. So let's get started.
The first step to install this air intake is to remove the handlebar pad. Then you'll take out the handlebars and then the hood. Okay, so the next step after removing the hood is to get these black intake hoses removed. The next step will be to cut this stock hose. You will retain this part. As you can see, this is a part you're going to keep. You can leave a small lip on there, that is fine. This is no longer needed, and this part here is also no longer needed. You will keep these two rubber sections and also the stainless plates. All right, now let's take a look at what's included in this kit. So you get two different elbows. This one is the bottom one, it's round. The top one is the oval one. You get a single clamp, a double clamp. These parts can be ordered in just about any color you can imagine. You just have to ask me when ordering. Hardware kit, that includes all of your washers, nuts, bolts. Then there's two different lengths of corrugated hose that are pre-cut. Make the installation a little bit easier. As far as tools, it can all be done with hand tools. You'll need a drill, a tape measure. You need a 7/32 drill bit, a 3mm Allen wrench, and then a 8mm socket, wrench, whatever is convenient for you. So let's get this installed.
Okay, for this step, we will be installing this lower clamp. In order to do so, we first need to find the midline of this hood. And keep in mind, this is a method that I use. It seems to work out fine. I'm sure there's other ways, but I'm going to show you my way. So first off, we need to find the midline of this hood. And to do that, we're going to use these two holes and these two holes. I'm going to put some tape down just so I'm not marking up my hood. So first off, we're going to find the distance between these two holes here, which is 1 9/16 of an inch. That is the middle. This one up here is going to be a little bit more difficult because of this hole, but once you measure the center and mark it, you're going to mark it at 5 5/8 inches. So that gives you your center line here. So you'll put your straight edge down here, mark your line between them, and so now we have the midline of this hood. The next step will be to find the distance from, I'm going to use this as a reference point, from here to where the holes, the center of the holes in this direction. So you're going to measure down 10 inches, measure down 10 inches, and connect a line across there. So now we just need to find where the holes are located out from the center line. And to do that, we'll just measure out 3 1/4 inches, 3 1/4 inches, and now we have our hole locations. Now, it doesn't hurt to double check that, make sure that it is 6 1/2 inches apart. And then after that, you can also take your clamp and set it on there. And look down these holes, make sure that your marks line up with the holes. So this is going to be one of those situations where you are going to be drilling a hole, so make sure that you measure twice and drill once. Once you're satisfied that your holes are marked out and lined up right, once you have your clamp on there situated and it's about the same on both sides, go ahead and drill your holes and we'll move on to the next step. Assembly and installation of the remaining parts is pretty straightforward. The round one that you cut is going to go to the round clamp. The oval one is going to go to the oval clamp. We're going to use the bolt like this, bolt, washer on both sides, and then followed up by a lock nut. So I'm going to get these installed and then we'll take a look at it. So the next step is going to be to take your tube itself. Now you have a long one and a short one. Obviously the long one's going to go up here. And also remember that this is reverse threaded. You're going to thread these in until they stop. You'll feel a positive stop. Do the same thing with the short one. Positive stop. And so now we're going to install the clamp. So the single clamp will go up here on the top side. You're going to want to place it, and there isn't any scientific measurement or anything like that. Just somewhere up here, you're going to go just below this little angle here. I have mine angled just a little bit on there, but somewhere around there. It's out of the way right there. If you end up getting a hood prop kit or something like that, it's out of the way. Like I said, it's going to be somewhere up in here. The best way is going to be just to take your bottom clamp, figure out where you want it, position it, mark your holes with a marker, and then drill them. The next step is going to be to install this lower clamp. Now this one's going to take a little bit more work because you are putting both of the hoses in it. Now these are threaded as well. The threads are a lot more shallow though, and once it's clamped down, it locks into place. It's also worth noting that you want to keep this a little bit of tension on here. You don't want it super tight. You want a little bit of tension on there so it can kind of move around and flex, but not bang into stuff. So just kind of spring that open. Slide through there. All right, at this point, this installation is pretty much done. So you're just going to shove these down in here. Sometimes these do need to be trimmed. You don't want them too long. You also want them long enough. This tension looks pretty good. This looks good. That's good. So now you're just going to close your hood. Make sure that everything closes and doesn't bind, which that looks pretty good. Look on the outside.
So all that's left is to throw your hood back on, handlebars, get your wires and everything reinstalled, and you're ready to rock and roll. I hope this video is helpful.